Hey guys. So we just came back from seeing Black Panther, obviously. And please check at RO Shown on Instagram for more photos. I'll upload a couple, but we have a few more to go up so you can see the whole business that I got going on here in my armor and head wrap and whatnot. Oops. So, it was amazing, which, obviously I wasn't disappointed. It wasn't anything less than what I expected. But I have to say, and I have a lot of notes, but first and foremost, first let me start with the movie theater. So we went to Sinopolis, and we already had these expensive ass 4DX tickets where, we did a video about what 4DX is. Check it out. On top of that, we go to the concession stand. Like, I wanted to get a little snack. And then I see this. They had this business. These fools were selling... This is a popcorn tub. Right? So put popcorn... Wait, yeah. You open up Black Panther's head. There's popcorn in there. Nifty top, right? Oh, sorry. I keep having it out of frame. And they were selling these only with the special. Which is popcorn in this refillable popcorn and a large drink for $20. And I debated with myself so much over this that I missed like the first 3 to 4 minutes of the fucking movie over this damn popcorn. So
I know, because I decided to leave the line and actually go into the movie theater.
Well, no, I told you to go. So I said, well, I'm going to miss the trailers. I knew I was going to miss trailers. I was like, fine, I'll miss the trailers. But I actually missed the first 3 or 4 minutes of the movie, and I'm really upset about that.
It's okay, I'll fill her in.
Anyway, and then also as a side note, I don't think I talked about this, but it's part... So for Valentine's Day was the movie, obviously. Some other stuff I won't get into. But then also this guy here. My boyfriend got for me. And he talks.
It's warm.
He it's very cool. He's 13 inches tall, and I adore this. I adore this action figure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, right. So I have to start a bit out of sync, because while there are so many things impressive with this movie, some of the deepest, it got really deep a lot of the time with Michael B. Jordan. His character, Eric Stevens, aka Killmonger, saying some deep stuff I feel like every other time he would say a word, I'd be like, damn, ooh, yeah, okay. And I'm glad that they had this character say these things and express certain ideals to the audience, especially with the first end credit scene where T'Challa gives he gives a press conference sort of with the United Nations. I don't know, not a press conference, but he gives like a speech to them, or anyway, he goes to like basically like a United Nations and he says some things, and then of course you get the typical kind of ignorant response to what he says. So I won't spoil you as to what it is. Just make sure you stay until the very, very end, because there are people who left before the first set of credits, and then there are people who left after the second set of credits. And it's like, guys, there's 2 end credit scenes, so just wait, chillax, wait. Second thing about this film, and we're gonna try and discuss this without spoiling you. We will try to discuss this without spoiling you. I thought another poignant thing is that all of T'Challa's guards were women. And without giving a spoiler, ultimately, part of the message of this film, and it had a lot of messages, but part of the message of this film is that this king, this black man, is being lifted up and protected by black women. Black women save the day, which is very poignant in today's world as well, but as a metaphor, seeing it in this film was great. And Danai Gurira was fucking badass. Like, it's a lot of badass women in this film, but she really serves it. Her action scenes, man, like, I want to take a class or something. I want to be that awesome one day. Like, she just has so much like amazingness packed into this film. It's incredible. Ryan Coogler really did all the characters justice, but he did definitely deny justice in terms of what she's capable of and what she can do. So,
Yeah, I mean, she definitely had the best fight scenes, I think, of the entire movie. That, like, staff thing that she had was, like, very well choreographed. I also, just like a random thought, I love the movie, too. I thought it was really well done. It was really well acted. I was a little bit trepidatious going into this movie. I was kind of afraid that it was going to, like, not be as good as the hype. But I think it lived up to it, so that's good. There was like two things that I thought were like strangely reminiscent of Bond films. Weirdly enough, the gadget thing of like this is the suit and like we've done upgrades to it and that whole thing. I'm like, oh, you're Q, but in Wakanda, and then the casino scene. Remember, like that's like the same. Sign. Yeah, that's like the same thing as it even had like the same lighting and everything. I was like, oh. Are one of you going to get, like, dropped into a pit with a Komodo dragon that you have to, like, fight off or something like that? But I like that, though. I thought it was, like, an interesting nod to Bond films. I'm assuming that was probably inspired by those Bond films, which I liked.
Sorry.
So, I thought it had actually, overall, a more, like, secret agent feel than superhero. Like, I didn't get, like, the whole, like, sensationalistic... sort of like unrealistic feel of like
a super grounded.
Yeah, I felt like it was more grounded. I felt like it was like I said, I felt like it felt like one of the, the Daniel Craig Bond movies, honestly. Like that's the vibe that I got from it, which I fucking love those movies. So I was actually very pleased because, as anybody knows who watches our videos, I really don't like superhero movies. I think they're dumb in general. So this was a pleasant surprise. It just didn't really feel like a superhero movie. It felt more like a Bond film, and I enjoyed that.
That being said, Black Panther is still a superhero. And I know that there were some outlets such as Screen Junkies / Honest Trailers trying to diminish that, and I've seen no shortage of tweets, people talking about Spawn and Blade and whatever. Yeah. So while those guys had superpowers or were superhuman in some shape or form, that doesn't automatically make you a hero. If you were pressed to ask, if someone asked you to name, 10 superheroes, those guys wouldn't make the list. If they asked you to name 20, 30 superheroes, those guys wouldn't be on the list. So let's be real. And Black Panther is, in fact, a superhero, and in addition to that, he's an Avenger. So just stop with all that noise, okay? And it's true, this film was a bit grounded in reality, but it also gave kind of a what-if scenario. What if there was an African civilization, an African country that went uninterrupted? Where would they be today? And that's kind of what Wakanda is. It's sadly an imagined place that was not disturbed or anything by colonization or worse in a lot of cases, or war or anything like that. And they had this ruse of being a third world country to keep their their technology and their ingenuity to themselves and to not be disturbed, and they thrive and they are generations advanced to where everyone else is. So I like the idea of that as well. I like that concept. So there was a lot of messages and thought-provoking things in this film. The action was fantastic. The story was solid. The acting was amazing. Like, there's really nothing, as someone who reviews things, I want to be critical and I want to be objective. And this is the first time I ever dressed up for a film. Like, I cosplay, obviously. But I've never actually dressed up I never felt inclined to dress up for a film.
Just a note, she was actually, like, the only person who was dressed up in the whole theater.
Like, fully dressed. Like, there were a lot of the black people who went there. They were wearing some variant of African garb or, some piece of African cloth, but it was very low-key. I'm walking around, with armor and, fucking... you know, I can't even think of the jewels and stuff on my face. I didn't.
Shiny shit.
Yeah. Well, you know. Sorry, I had the stuff on for like 6 hours. I had to take it off. And it's the end of the night and we want to get this video up. But I just had to start taking stuff off now. It was tired. I had so much stuff on. This was the first time I've ever gone to the movies and felt hot. I'm usually always freezing cold. I bring a jacket with me, whatever. Didn't need it. Not today. I was wearing all this stuff. And shout out to Author Sky for my awesome head wrap. I had another one that I was wearing as well as a skirt. And, you know, she brought those things for me. I couldn't find anything decent. And she hooked a sister up. Also, my necklace and these glasses, which were a mistake. She went to a Bruno Mars concert last night. So this was actually her Bruno Mars necklace and her Bruno Mars glasses. These were actually sunglasses, but they popped out. And I was like, these would be really cool to wear. So, anyway, my character, and I think I said this before, but I put a little bit more thought into it, is a retired general of the Dora Milaje, which is why I have the spectacles, because now I read and give lectures and, you know, give motivating speeches to people. In my retirement, that's what I do. So... also, Angela Bassett's like 60 and Chadwick Boseman's like 40, and I love that they look like 20 and 40 instead, so I just want to put it out there. And I have no idea how old his sister is supposed to be. She seems like in a lot of ways like a high school student. I'm sure she's probably like 35 or 40, but I don't even know. Can't tell. But it's awesome that I can't tell, so I just want to put that out.
Anything more?
Yes. In one of the end scenes, this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. Anybody who watched Civil War knows that Bucky Barnes ends up in Wakanda. And when he comes out, I love that he's living in Wakanda and he comes out in African clothes. However, they are the most Scottish looking African clothes I've ever seen, with the coloring and the styling. It was like the whitest version of African garb ever. But, you know, then he had his weird samurai man bun thing, which, you know, I look forward to when he cuts that off.
I am anti-man bun. I don't support the man bun on anybody, especially not in a movie character. So, on that note, if you guys like our content, make sure to subscribe up here. Also, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at RLRoshone, and also check out the brand new blog, thelivingroshone.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.